So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the third webinar in our Atlassian in Scotland series. Quick reminder who I am. So I'm Nigel Rochford, founder and CEO of Verve Consulting. We operate from Glasgow in Scotland as part of a global channel network in collaboration with Atlassian. What our team does is we build solutions for our local customers using products from the Atlassian ecosystem. We specialize in a few areas such as automation, reporting, project portfolio management, and also, of course, IT service management, or ITSM, which is the theme for our webinar series this year. The webinar series is all about sharing. So it's a forum for you to learn how other Scottish businesses are implementing ITSM using Atlassian. And of course, it's a great way to find out about products and features that you might not have come across before. Our ultimate hope is that you gain some valuable insights and then use these when building your own solutions for your own teams. A quick reminder before I forget as well, the recording for this webinar and our previous webinars, we'll put them up on our website through the events page, and they'll also be on our YouTube channel as well. Just search for Verve Consulting. So we've got a super lineup for you today. So our local customer success story is being shared by Lorraine Brown from Capita Consulting. So she'll run you through how the live services support team at Capita Consulting used Jira Service Desk to enhance client support services. And then in the second part of today's webinar, you'll learn about insight for asset management from Sandra Axelsdottir and how it became an integral part of your, or how it can become an integral part of your ITSM solution. Oops. So if you'd like to ask any questions during the webinar, do post them into the Q&A dialogue. So if you haven't used Zoom before, you should see a big Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. We've decided this time around as well, just to ensure that all questions are visible to the audience. So we'll be able to see them come through as we go through the webinar. We'll have a live Q&A session then with both speakers at the end, and we'll do our best to answer all your questions then. If you'd like to share any insights from today's webinar, do use our hashtag #TartanTeamwork. And you can also mention us at Verve. So I'm just going to hide my little webcam, just bear with me. So without further ado, so we're delighted to welcome Lorraine Brown as our first speaker today. Lorraine has over 25 years experience delivering in IT customer and service support. She's super passionate about the IT service support sector, and we're really grateful to Lorraine for sharing her local success story today.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're well and you're all staying safe. My name's Lorraine Brown, and I've been invited along to talk to you today about IT service management and the Jira Service Desk. I'm a solution support leader within Capita Consulting, and I'm going to talk to you for the next 15 to 20 minutes how we use ITSM and the Jira Service Desk in our everyday delivery of our live support service. So what's coming up? I'm going to give you a little bit of a background and tell you a bit about who we are and the work that we do. And of course, then I'm going to talk about IT service management and give you a few examples of how we use Jira Service Desk. So who are we? Well, we're Capita Consulting, as I was saying. And Capita Consulting was developed just at the beginning of this year. And it's Capita's approach to providing a consultancy service in the ever-changing world that we work in now. They recognised that clients were looking for a different kind of consultancy service, so decided to form this division. Consultancy itself is made up of 4 guilds, and across the way we've got the annuity services, we have the Capita Institute, we have transformation, and we have cloud services. And across the 4 guilds, we have a varying amount of skill and expertise. And the idea for the consulting service is to draw on all these skills and put small teams together that can go and work in partnership with their clients and do this rapid innovation and rapid delivery. The live service support team, we sit within the Annuity Services Guild, and our role is going to be, once that rapid innovation and delivery has been completed, that we will then follow that up with our live service support service. There's a lot of services in there. So that is where we're going to fit in. So it's a holistic approach to how they're going to now offer out consultancy. We're not a first or a second line support service desk. We're actually a third line support service desk. Our relationship is not direct with the client, it's with the client's technical teams. So any tickets that have come in from the client is triaged at their first and second line level and then escalated to us when they can't be resolved there. For me, I believe that the delivery point and where that we transfer over from delivery into support is the most crucial point, or one of the most crucial points in the project, because this is the first time the clients are getting to get a good look and get their hands on their investment. So any issues or anything at all going on from that point has to be looked after, and they have to be giving the best of care. And that's where our team does deliver to them. We try and deliver the best to them. So what is the work that we do? Well, we deliver a full managed support service. We're a dedicated team. We're all dedicated 100% to our support delivery. We manage the service desk. The team is in two parts, actually. We have the service desk analyst, and we have the service desk management side of it, and we have a technical side to the team. So the service desk management side, we do all of the incident and request management, all the ticket classification, etc. But apart from that, we also feed in all the support packages for our clients. We work with the metrics to develop the commercials, and we put that into a package. We've got support packages, and we design them and tailor them to fit our varying clients' needs. We also do all the documentation that's involved with the support service. We do all the monthly reporting, all the metrics. We do all the monitoring, the burn time for the clients. We are the major incident managers when any major incident occurs. We also chair the CAB. We have a daily CAB 5 days a week, and we chair that and manage that. And one of our service desk analysts, or senior service desk analysts, is our change manager. So it's a full comprehensive service that we deliver at this level. At the other side of our team, we have our technical experts, and they're a team of, as I say, dedicated SMEs, and it's them that do all the resolutions on the incidents, the requests. They formulate the plans to resolution. As I said, we're a third line support service desk, so really when the issues come to us, they're more problem management than incident management. But our experts also do all the releases and work with the clients on looking at enhancements they might want, all the testing. There's comprehensive testing done at each level on any of the resolution or change plans. But above from the service desk work, again, there's additional tasks. We have Drupal estates. Our experts manage all the Drupal estates. They build all the pipelines to help with our releases. We try to automate as much as we can. They manage the AWS hosting and the maintenance of that. We have a service register. They keep that up to date. And once again, they're responsible for all the tech and the test documentation. And of course, it's these experts that also sit on the CAB and do all the approvals and monitor the changes. So I thought I'd bring in the slide here to let you see who our clients are and some of the technologies that we're working with. On support, a lot of you will appreciate, you're not aware of what's going to come in on a day-to-day basis, so you've got to be ready for anything. But also on support, our service experts, our support experts, they really have to be familiar with technologies across the board, not just the one set of codes. So they're full stack developers, they're experienced DevOps engineers and senior QAs, and they really have extensive knowledge across all of these technologies, and they have to be able to react to each one as it comes in. Of course, if there's something that we're unsure of, if we've not got in-depth in a particular area, we do have our other teams and other experts across Capita Consulting and other guilds that we can draw on for advice and some of their expertise. But as you can see, there's a comprehensive set of technologies that they do have to be familiar with to deliver the support service. So we've given you a bit of a background about where we sit within Capita Consultancy and a bit about the team. I'd like to go on now and talk about our IT service management and the methodologies, we use to manage this. There's three practices that we bring in. There's a bit of the Service Desk Institute certification programme. I worked with this a good few years ago now at the University of St Andrews, and we had a bit of success, and we managed to achieve a 4-star business-led certification. And I really do believe in it because it's comprehensive and it brings in the whole organisation into your live support. We also use ITIL version 3 for our daily practices on the service desk. And we've also introduced some agile practices to help us be more efficient and bring in that daily communication. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Service Desk Institute certification programme and that methodology. But for me, this is the overarching methodology that we use at the Service Desk. As I said, it brings it as a whole comprehensive set of concepts. There's 9 concepts in this. As you can see, leadership, policy, strategy, people management, etc. And what that does is that you work through these concepts at the life support service level. So for leadership, for example, what we do is we take the organisation's leadership strategy and we look at that, and that may be a 5-year strategy, and then we build our support strategy on that to underpin that. And it's also with the policy and the strategy for the whole organisation. We then develop and tailor our policies and strategies to underpin that. When it comes to your people management, it's not just all about managing the people on the service desk, it's all about where the organisation is going in the plans and making sure that we're investing in our people to help the organisation achieve that. So you're putting in training plans, you're thinking ahead, you're looking at technologies to bring in to help underpin all that. And same with resources, and also even when you're doing your management information and your performance results, the metrics, feedback, and it's all about taking the metrics, tailoring your programme going forward to develop your support package, and it's also a programme of continuous service improvement. So there's 9 concepts, there's 4 different levels within the concepts. There's 2, 3, 4 and 5-star. I'm telling a lie, there's 5 different levels, and with each level you measure yourself against that, and you can measure that progress for each year. So when I said that we worked with that at the University of St Andrews, we actually got a 4-star business-led level. A 2-star level is a reactive level, so that's where you're really quite immature in the standard. 4-star business-led level is meaning you're excelling, you really have incorporated the programme, you're working at one with the organisation. Support is just not autonomous to everything else, it's part of everything. And I like to use this. I really do firmly believe in it. It does work and it does help you manage your service and align that with the organisation's plans going forwards. For our everyday work at the service desk and our delivery, we use ITIL version 3. We're qualified at foundation level and practitioner level in this version. And we really do use the processes and procedures within that to help us tailor our incident and request management process, our change management and our major incident management. So for your incident and request management is all on impact and urgency. We bring in the 2-stage call closure. You know, we would never resolve and close a ticket without the agreement from the client. In our change management process, we do follow the guidelines. You know, we have the daily CAB, as I was saying. You've got to submit your change requests for review the day before the CAB, and our release process as well is following the ITIL process, and along with our major incident management. The good thing about that is we have clear processes, and the team, not just the team, but the other people within the organisation that are available to them, so they can see how we work. The change management process, of course, is shared with the organisation. So anyone wanting to make a change at all can follow that, you know, and it gives them these clear guidelines. The most recent methodology we brought in was Agile. And I know Agile is really related to project management, but there's a good few practices in there that you could incorporate into any kind of working. So we have our daily stand-ups. Every day the team meet for an hour, because what we do is we have our daily stand-up and that incorporates our daily CAB. And it gives you that, well, not so much nowadays, it gives you team to face-to-face communication over Teams. But we spend an hour, we talk about what we worked on the day before, what we're looking to work on today. Of course, we do understand that that could be interrupted any time, but this is our plans. But more than anything, it really helps solidify the team relationships. We're communicating with each other every single day. And the daily CAB, we decided to bring that in because we felt we do work with some clients who have CABs every fortnight, and we don't feel that that's an efficient way of working. Some of our clients, we were having quite a few e-cabs because we needed to, release changes quickly. And we thought, well, let's do a daily cab that makes us much more efficient. It meets the needs of the clients that are needing these changes implemented quickly. And it helps us with the agile methodology of embracing change. And we also, we share and we motivate each other a lot. And we try to do that frequent delivery of our services. We're moving tickets along every day because they're problem tickets when they come to us. Some of these tickets, they can be open for quite a bit of time, and it takes a hefty investigation. But we do try our best to have that frequent delivery, and that daily discussion, it really opens up other discussions. It can really lead to quite interesting resolution processes as we get ideas in from the full team. So there's the 3 methodologies that we bring in to managing our life support service. So I hope you've got a bit more of an understanding, a bit more of background of where we actually sit in the organisation, a bit about how we work. So what we do, how we manage our ticket is through the Jira Service Desk. And really, Jira Service Desk works really well for us. It's not like a package like your big service now, but it really does, it does what it says on the tin. It allows us to efficiently work at our level, the level that we work at to do our ticket management. This is the interface that we see on our service desk. And as you can see here, we've got varying clients, and each one is set up with their own service desk within Jira. And that's really quite key for us, because the BBC, for instance, has different SLAs and different workflows maybe to Barnet. So it allows us, as I say, we sell out support packages to our clients, and within these support packages, we work with the client to tailor things that meets their needs and meets their requirements. So SLAs can differ from client to client. So by being able to set them up in their own service desks, it allows us to do that, allows us to manage these differences between the clients quite well. And it's what we like is it's very clean, this interface. You go in, you see all our clients, you click in, and then you can start to see the queues, the ticket queues that we can work with. So I've clicked in now, and you can see that this is the ticket queue for the BBC, and it allows you just at a glance to see what's open, when it was created, who's working on it, and it's clean. It's a clean interface for us. And if you see the top one there, it's a ticket we've actually created. It's quite ironic that I created that, being Mrs. Brown. I've created a ticket for Mrs. Brown whose boys. The ticket sales for the BBC, they went live at the beginning of October, so we created that to make sure that we're proactively monitoring the system, to make sure it's with the increased hits to the site that it's performing as it should. And so it's not only the client that raises the tickets, we raise the tickets for proactive work that we're doing as well. And it just gives you a glance, what kind of ticket it is, if it's a fault or a change, where it's sitting, who's working on it. And as you can see, it's a clean interface. It works. It does what it says on the tin for us, and it works for us. This screen here, this is what the clients see. This is the client portal. We only take phone calls at our service desk if it's a major incident, a priority one, because we're dealing with the technical teams and we're third line support. Our clients are required to log any of the incidents or requests via this portal. And as you can see, it's uncomplicated. They can go in, log their incidents and requests, and that feeds right through to us. So once again, it's a nice, efficient way for our clients and for us to do our ticket management. Drilling into Jira a bit further, once we open the ticket, this is what we see. We can see who's logged it, when it was logged, what the priority is. a bit of a description about the ticket. You could the good thing about this is what I like about it. You've got an audit trail about everything. You could do internal comments and external comments. So we share a lot of internal comments on the tickets about the process, the resolution process, just to share between the internal team. And there's lots of communication. We try to be quite strict that all communication is kept to the ticket. We like to have that audit trail. Also, if there's any communications, any inquiries with the client at what stage it's at, any one of us in the team can go in and look at that and see which level it's at. So I just wanted to show you this just to see what the interface is like. And once again, it's clean. It tells you everything on the one screen, and that's what we really like about it. As I was saying, we do all the metric reporting for our clients, and this is really, we get all our reports from the Jira Service Desk, and this is just a graph that shows you across the year, and you can have your tickets by day, by week, by month, and it gives you month over the year. It gives you the graph. We export them to Excel, and from Excel we make up graphs, and we put the graphs into our monthly metric reporting for our clients. It's once again, it's easy, it's efficient. We can tell which was P1s, how many P1s came in, and how many P2s, P3s, P4 example, the volume, the resolution. It's just your usual metric reporting. It's really, really easy to use. I just wanted to show you a bit on this screen. This is the SLAs that we've got for our clients. As I said, we can set these up for each client individually according to their requirements. And once again, it's just, you can go in and you can see it right away what they are set at. And it really is quite easy to set up. So for me, the biggest thing about the Jira Service Desk is its efficiency and allowing you to configure it for your clients and how you want it to work for you as well. That's really it about how we work, about the team, about who we sit in Capita Consultancy and the methodologies we use and how we use the service desk. Going forwards, it's just an exciting time for us. As I say, Capita Consulting is the newest division within Capita. What we want to do over this year is to bring in new clients, to grow our support service, to continue our journey with our existing clients. We're hoping to increase revenue and our client base. But really the key thing for us is to deliver a world-class service. We do pride ourselves in our service delivery. We pride ourselves that we've got very strong relationships with our clients. So, and we're looking forward to being able to continue on our journey with that. And of course, if you have any questions, I'd be delighted to take them. And thank you very much for your time today and for listening.
That's super. Thanks, Lorraine. What I personally loved about the demo was actually the simplicity. So at Verve, we're huge advocates of starting simple with Jira Service Desk. And the great thing about Atlassian is obviously that you can adapt and evolve as you grow. So all of Atlassian's products come with native integrations and they're highly flexible. So the tools can grow with you, enabling you to increase cross-functional collaboration over time, ultimately breaking down barriers and allowing for a seamless teamwork experience. So next up we have Sandra, who's going to show us how Insight Asset Management can give context to your service teams and ultimately enhance your IT service delivery. Sandra's been working in the ecosystem for probably over 10 years now. She's worked with two of the biggest marketplace vendors in Tempo and Mindville. And Mindville's range of Insight products have been hugely successful and are used by over 1,700 customers worldwide. Insight's capabilities, they're a cornerstone of IT service management. They provide enterprises with full visibility into their assets and services, obviously critical to delivering great customer and employee service experiences. Atlassian, of course, wasn't blind to the value that Insight can bring to ITSM solutions. And on the 30th of July this year announced the acquisition of Mindville. So we're all super excited to see how Insight's journey will evolve in the future as a key component of Atlassian's ITSM offerings. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Sandra to show us what Insight is all about.
Hi everyone, my name is Sandra and I'm the ITSM Channel Business Development Lead at Atlassian. Just a little background about me. I have worked with Atlassian products for over a decade. I started as a member of a small Atlassian implementation team at an IT service company in Iceland, which is actually where I live. From there, I transitioned into an Atlassian consultant role, then a channel manager role for two great app vendors, first Tempo and later Mindville. And now I'm here. As many of you know, Atlassian acquired Mindville earlier this year, which means that Insight is now an Atlassian app. We are thrilled to be a part of the Atlassian team, but let's talk about Insight, the product behind this acquisition. Insight is a powerful app that adds great value to Jira Service Desk. I might be biased here, but I think Insight is not the typical app. It's more like a product within a product. It's basically an object-oriented database within Jira where you can define and model your data any way you want. So let's talk about some of the highlights of Insight. First, we have integrations. So Insight has numerous integrations options. Some of them are built in when installing Insight, and some of them need to be installed separately. The good news is that the ones that you need to install separately are free. Some of the built-in integrations include CSV imports, database connection, LDAP, Jira, Bitbucket, and JSON. Next is automation. So Insight has its own automation framework, similar to the automation rules in Jira Service Desk projects, where you can automate actions based on certain criteria. The actions you can automate within the Insight rules are, for example, to create issues based on objects, send email notifications, HTTP requests, execute a Groovy script, just to name a few. In addition, Insight also adds quite a few post functions to the Jira workflows. So you can also add automation to the workflows. So the post functions allow you, for instance, to create an object in Insight from issue values, assign an issue based on the selected object, update an attribute for an Insight object, and much more. There are a total of 9 Insight post functions to choose from. The third feature that I want to discuss are the references. It's possible to create dependencies between object types with unlimited reference depth. Dependencies, or the way you model your data, is very important and can be useful in different scenarios throughout the business. You will see examples of this in my demo later on. The last feature here are reports. In addition to be able to include Insight data in your issue search and issue filters, there are several reporting options in Insight. You can create reports, for instance, for issue count for a specific object. You can create reports based on object searches, object count, etc. And if you don't see the report option you need, you can create your own report type. And if you need to generate advanced reporting that is not available in Jira or Insight, we also have other apps such as ECBI integrated with Insight data. In addition to these 4 feature highlights, I want to mention that the Insight custom fields. The Insight custom fields are the way to link Insight data to Jira issues. It's a powerful custom field and highly configurable. The Insight custom field allows you to define in detail what values can be selected in any given field. You can also create dependencies between 2 or more Insight custom fields. And you can automatically set a value for a field and choose what attributes you want to display on the issue view for the selected object. I will show you this in more detail in the demo later. So we talked about the feature highlights, which mentioned integrations. So I just want to highlight some of the extensive integration offers we have. We have integrations with major cloud providers such as Google Cloud, AWS, Azure, etc. Then we offer integrations to other solutions like ServiceNow, Device42, and Snow, and so much more, like the integrations with Jira, with Bitbucket, the Confluence macro, and so on. Even though Insight is known to many as an IT asset management solution, it can do so much more. Throughout the years, we have seen some very impressive and innovative use cases with Insight. Insight can be used to manage anything that matters to your organization, your IT assets, employees, service catalogs, facilities, product catalog, customers, contracts, you name it. Anything that's a value to your organization and can be modeled in Insight. One of the use cases that sits with me is our customer that uses Insight to manage their inventory and maintenance of pianos. It's all there. The brand of the pianos, the model, the purchase date, the last maintenance date, the location of the pianos, the supplier information, and you just name it, it's there. So let's take a look at a few use cases of Insight. First, I want to mention VMware. So VMware managed to switch from ServiceNow over to Jira and Insight in just 8 months. Their implementation is fulfilling the full scope of ITIL version 3. With this change, they managed to reduce costs significantly. The solution was well received and users were adapted quickly to the new solution. They are managing all their infrastructure in multiple countries with Insight and Jira today. You can read the full story on Mindville's website and watch Dimitar's presentation of their story at Mindville's YouTube channel. Another story is from our partner Bano. Bano is an Atlassian partner that had experience in implementing Insight for various customers and saw the potential in using Insight internally for various purposes, including as a CRM. They have created a data structure for CRM and Insight to manage customers, customer contacts, contracts, lead tracking, service catalog, etc. It's now easy for them to report on customers, what services they have purchased, ongoing projects. They can see links to all the work, both current and previous. Customers can also request new work, quotes, and services through the customer portal, and details about the customer will be automatically linked to the request with the help of Insight. So let's take a look at one more story. This is a story from ESS, or the European Spallation Source. It's mainly, ESS is mainly using Insight for facility and HR management. All employees and contractors are managed in Insight through an organizational structure. And all facilities are also managed in Insight to track physical access to the various security zones within the company compound. They track trainings and certifications needed to access high security zones. As an example, when an employee or a contractor requests access to a high security zone, they see immediately if that person has finished the required training. If not, it's automatically flagged to the appropriate manager to make sure that the requester gets the training needed before he is cleared for access. This is also a story that you can either read on Mindville's website or watch Hanno's presentation from our conference last year. So just to dive a little bit further into this specific use case, you can see here a screenshot taken from the presentation. Here you can see an overview of the people schema at ESS. On the left, you see the object types they have created, such as training with different types of training, persons with different subtypes, and so on. The object example in the middle of the screen is of an internal person, showing all the attributes stored for an internal person. And to the far right, you can see the references that this person has to access areas, certificates, applications, and more. On this screen, we are still viewing the same BSS people schema, but focusing on the access area object type. For objects of this type, BSS is storing a completely different set of data that describes these objects the best. We also see that access areas have references to access certificates. That is, the certificate needed to be eligible for access to an area. Now let's dive into a live demo. We're going to start the demo in an inside object schema that we call ITSM. On the left-hand side, we can see an overview or a list of all the object types in this schema. So we are managing IT assets, both hardware and software. We can also see that we have the business services as the selected object type. And by selecting this object type, we will see a list of all the objects for that particular object type. In our case, we have the following business services. And by selecting one of the business services, we can see details about that particular service. In our case, we are viewing Confluence, and we can see that the name here, we can see that the status is running, importance, the business service owner, we can see the referenced host. So here we can see the production server and the database server, and other information. This is something that's configurable when you set up Insight. So you decide what attributes you want to store about each object type. We can also see other information here, like the dates. We can see when this object was created and when it was last updated. Here we can see inbound references. So if this service had inbound references to other object types or objects, we would see that here. We can also add attachments, and then we can see connected Jira issues. In this case, we are showing unresolved Jira issues, and at this point in time, we don't have any. So let's go over to Jira Service Desk and see how a user can report incidents on business services. So we start in the Jira Service Desk portal, and here you can see that there is an option to report an incident. So we report an incident and we get prompted with this form. So now we need to say what our, summarize the incident, which in our case is can't log into Confluence. And the next field is an insight field. So in this case, the field that we call affected business service has a direct link to the business services reviewed earlier in the object schema. So we are going to choose Confluence, and then we'll create the issue. So this is all the user has to do to create an incident and link it to the business service in question. From the agent's perspective, this looks a little bit different. So let's go over to the agent's queue. In the agent queue, we can see the newly created issue. Can't log into Confluence, with the affected business service being Confluence. So we will open that incident, and here we can see the details about the incident. And here I want to highlight one of the features of the Insight custom field. While the customer only selected Confluence from a list of business services, the agent can see details about that business service. So without having to drill down any further or log into other systems to get details, we can just see directly in the ticket details about the service. So he knows, for example, who the business service owner is, which is a person he might want to contact for further details. So let's assume that the agent has now investigated the problem and he wants to confirm that this is actually an incident. Confluence is not responding. So he can confirm the incident by transitioning the issue through the workflow. Confirm. server is down. Confirms the incident, and what happened when we confirmed the incident is that we used two of the Insight post functions that I mentioned earlier. So the first post function we used was to update an attribute on an object. So by confirming the incident, we updated the status of the service to incident in progress. And also by confirming the incident, we updated the assignee of the issue and assigned the issue to the business service owner. So now Jeremy will get a notification and he can go and investigate further. So let's put ourselves in the role of Jeremy and start the investigation. So now we are investigating and we can see that there's nothing really wrong with Confluence, but there's something wrong with the server that Confluence is running on. So to confirm that, we can click on hardware failure. And here we can see another power of the Insight custom field where we can create dependencies between fields. Because we have Confluence selected here in the affected business service, we only see hosts that have references to Confluence. So we only see the Confluence prod server and the Postgres database server. So we're going to say, okay, there's a problem with the database server. So let's select that and confirm. So now you can see that the issue has been populated with more detailed information. And what we can see here is that another affected business service has been added to the issue. Why is that? It's because the system can see that when we added the database server, we automatically checked if other services were running on the same server and added that service to the issue. And what we also did was we updated the status of all three to incident in progress, and we reassigned the issue to the host owner, Fred instead. So you can see that the issue has now been assigned to Fred, which means that he will be notified and he can go and fix whatever is wrong with the server. So now in the role of Fred, we investigate the failure and then resolve the issue. So let's just assume that at least that fixed it this time. And resolve. So by resolving the issue, you see that all the services, or both services and the host, are up and running again. So this was just a quick example to show you how we can use the references by adding referenced services to the issue. We can use the post functions to both update the objects and assign issues. So let's go back to the object schema and take a deeper look at how this is all configured and set up. So now we are back to the Confluence objects, and here you can see the servers that were used and populated in the host fields. So what we can do here, we can always drill back and forth within Insight. So I can click on the Postgres server and open that up, which gives me details about the server. And here I can see inbound references. So remember that there were two business services that were added to the issue. Here I can see a reference to those two services, Confluence and video conferencing. What I can also do in Insight, I can view everything in a graphical view. So we have three types of graphs in an object schema. And you can see two buttons here in the upper right corner. The top graph button is at the schema level. So it's showing us showing us a graph of the entire schema, showing us all the object types and how the object types have references between each other. Going back to the overview and viewing the second graph button, so this one is at the object type level, in this case host, because we have the host object type selected. We can click on the graph button and it shows us a graph of all the relationships that host has to other object types. And here we can click around, we can view details about the different object types just by clicking on them, and we can see details of the attributes that are stored for each object type. Now, the third graph that we can view is the object graph. In the object graph, we can see here a tree version of the graph where we can drill our way down. So, for example, when if we have a change request, we need to update a server, and we know that all business services on that particular server will go down while we are updating. So we can investigate before we start the process and see, okay, what business services are actually running on that server? Okay, we have these two. Are they critical? Who do we need to notify? Do we need specific permission to take them down? Can they only go down at a specific time? All this can be stored as information for those services. So there's nothing that should surprise you when you restart the server or when you need to do something, because you can always see the relationships or the dependencies between the assets. So again, this was a quick overview of Insight, how you can create the different object type models, references, and use the assets or the objects in Jira issues. So we have talked about Insight integrations and use cases, and seen a live demo of the product, but I haven't talked about Insight Discovery. Insight Discovery is a network scanning tool that complements Insight. It's an agent-free network discovery that scans your networks for all hosts and devices. All the usual assets can be discovered out of the box, such as Linux servers, Windows servers, routers, printers, computers, etc. And yes, you can easily design your own patterns to discover more unusual assets in your environment. The discovered assets can be easily synced into Insight. And what's even better is that all dependencies and data mapping can be created automatically in the importing process. I highly recommend using Insight Discovery with Insight if your intentions is to use Insight to manage your IT assets. To wrap this up, I want to point out two publications on our website about ITSM that I recommend to read. The first is the one, The Future of ITSM is Agile. It's written in collaboration with Axelsdottir and is a practical guide for working with ITIL4 and Atlassian. The second one is the complete guide to Atlassian for ITSM and is an overview of Atlassian's ITSM solution. So I hope this gave you a good overview of some of Insight's capabilities. I thank you all for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day.
That's super. Thanks, Sandra. So we're going to do a quick slot to do a live Q&A. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a second, and we'll enable video for everybody. Bear with me. Okay. Great. Okay, so we've got some questions that have come through. I can see you've posted some kind of brief answers already, so we can go through them in order. So I guess the first one would have been for Lorraine. So I noticed from your screenshots that you were on Jira Server. I wondered whether cloud was on your roadmap.
Yes, it will be, but it's one of these things that we've lost focus on at the moment with the times that we're working in. You know, it's just trying to keep the lights on. So yes, it will be, but I can't say when.
Okay, fair enough. I guess, well, you know, the journey to cloud can be complex depending on, you know, how your setup is. Yeah. So I guess the advantage of the ecosystem is there's lots of resources through the Atlassian website and also through, you know, partner network to help on that journey. Just, you know, because obviously lots of people have different integrations and lots of different tools and dependencies and so on. So the next question is from our very own Daniel. So you mentioned that you employ ITIL v3 for your daily practices. So obviously ITIL 4 was released probably about a year ago, I guess now. So the question is, are you planning the transition to v4?
Yes, we are. The reason we didn't sign up for it right away is because I was letting it bed in, just to, you know, it's the new version, and just like it to bed in. If there's any teething problems, you know, going forwards, they'll be eased out by the time we decide to do it. But we certainly are. We're going to move over to ITIL version 4.
Cool. Sounds good. So we've got another one from Zoe. So again, I guess this is for you, Lorraine. So how are the agents and the service desk performance evaluated in Capita Consulting? Yeah. I won't go through the whole question, but I'll let you respond to that one.
We're quite interested because we're third line support desk. We do use ITIL to manage incidents and requests, but by the time these incidents come to us, they're really problems. So you don't turn over, you know, efficiently. There's a lot of time spent on these tickets, but we use the time logging feature on there. So each time the agent has worked, or the service desk expert, I should say, the subject matter expert has worked on the technical side of the ticket, they log their time so we can see how much time is spent. Our clients understand that efficiency, we're not really about efficiency. We like to progress and deliver, but it's not about just getting things out the door, you know, because some of our fixes require change requests, you know, and then we've got to test at every level. So you've got your QA environment, your dev, and then your prod. So, you know, it can be a laborious process. So we do monitor the time, the burn time for the clients and the time that we've worked on them. And that's really how we do it. And we discuss the queues every single day, you know, on our stand-up. So that's how we monitor the efficiency, if you like, there.
Yeah, okay. I guess one of the other things I noticed as well, so you mentioned in your demo that, so I guess probably to get, I guess, cross-project and cross-desk reports, you export the data into Excel. It's something we kind of touch on quite a lot with customers, actually. It's maybe something to look at if you haven't yet, would be something like EasyBI, or if you're a Microsoft house, Power BI, where you can use the APIs, you know, to pull all that information into a tool within Jira. Yeah. It's a very useful tool, and we, you know, I think most of our ITSM solutions use Insight, but also EasyBI for getting extra insights. So let me see. So I guess the next question, it was originally intended for Sandra, I think. So in your demo, the products you've shown were for server. So can you tell us a little bit more about the roadmap for cloud?
Yes, so we are well aware of the fact that Insight is not as powerful for cloud as it is for server and data center at this point in time. So we are putting our full efforts into improve, starting with the major and most frequently used features. So we will be adding some options to the importing engine, allowing for CSV import, Insight Discovery import, and possibly more. Then we are going to introduce a new custom field, or an improved custom field, allowing you to use some of the extensive features that we currently have on server. And then for the automation rules, we do have some automation rules and post functions available already, but we will be adding to those in the upcoming, let's say, like weeks, months.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, obviously the platforms are very different, aren't they, between cloud and hosted. So it's a real challenge for app vendors getting the apps, you know, ported over. We've had our own challenges as well. So we've released a recent cloud app as well, which we use quite a lot in ITSM solutions as well, which is a light CRM for Jira called Crumbs. So again, worth checking out. We'll maybe do a follow-up webinar on that as well. Next question's probably quite a beefy one. We don't have too much time, but maybe you can give me some insights into Atlassian's future plan for Mindville. And
let's see. I mean, it has been a topic for a while that Jira Service Desk hasn't been offering a built-in or like a CMDB and customers have mentioned that like having to buy that from a third-party vendor. But I think, I think from acquiring Mindville, Atlassian is just showing that they are serious about going into the ITSM space and providing a holistic a solution for IT service management. And we'll just have to wait and see how things progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be exciting to see.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got another specific question around pricing from Lloyd. So Insight looks very interesting, but it's price per user. Is there a pricing structure for per device?
I don't know really how to comment on that. That's like a historical way of pricing the product, because through the Atlassian marketplace, the vendors only had an option to price it per user or like based on the user tier. I can't say at this point if that's going to change in the future, but the reason it is as it is due to historical facts.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's it in terms of questions. I have a few more slides to play through at the end, but are there any kind of final thoughts from yourself, Lorraine or Sandra? Oh, Lorraine, sorry, you're on mute. Oops.
No, that must be the saying of this whole working from home. Sorry, you're on mute. You know, you keep forgetting. No, not really. It's just I've enjoyed taking part, and thank you for inviting me along to TAPA. And I hope everyone's enjoyed it.
Yeah, same here. I just thank you for the opportunity to present. And if there are any questions that rise after this webinar, you can contact New Verve for any insight information.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, thanks to you both. So what I'll do is I'll just share just the final few slides. Cool. Okay, so that's pretty much kind of wrapping up then for today. So massive thank you to everybody for joining today. Huge thanks to our co-hosts for their presentations today. They've been really, really good. So yeah, massive thank you for taking your time out today. I know it's always quite difficult to make time for webinars. If you do have, need more information about any of the products we discussed or other products that we didn't touch on today, including that CRM that I mentioned that we've added to the marketplace, Crumbs, feel free to reach out to us, and we can give you a solution demo. That's our contact details, so feel free to ping us at info@newverve.scot, or you can look us up on the website. That's probably the best place to keep an eye for future events. We'll hopefully announce our next one fairly soon, within the next week or two. I believe the next slot is going to be a panel discussion. So yeah, so I think that's it for today. So massive thanks to everybody again, and we'll see you at the next event.